Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the FatmanStephens podcast. Of course, my name is Marcus FatmanStephens, and we're back at it again. We got Mr. Mark Kendrick of 25 years. I'll never get over that number. We're back at it again. No wrestling this time. When we talked about wrestling last time, we started talking about movies a little bit, and that is what this episode is centered around: the cinemas and movies that we've liked over the years and new movies we've seen, things like that, to that nature. So let's just get right into it. Mark, give me some of your favorite movies of all time. Let's go. We get right into it.
I like it. Just get into it. Like it. So, and this was hard because there's a couple movies I had to put in and take out. As far as I put a top 10, and then there's some movies on the outside of 10. So I'll just do the top 10.
So let me hear it.
So Batman Dark Knight, number one, Bad Boys, the first Bad Boys, two, and this is the order that I would say all that I'm listing these movies as my favorite movies of all time. Black Panther, number three, Wonder Woman, number four, Lion King, number five. I have nothing against the live Lion King version, but the cartoon, come on, Endgame, number six, Captain America Civil War, number seven, Skyfall, number eight, Spider-Man 2, number nine. And I was debating between these two movies, but in the end, I either had Spider-Man No Way Home or Bad Boys for Life. But for number 10, I went Bad Boys for Life. Because that was just, yeah. It was better than the second one. That Bad Boy series is just one of my favorite series, period. But yeah, so that's my top 10.
We got to talk about number four, Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wonder Woman over Endgame.
Yeah.
Why is that?
You know, it's a couple things. First of all, it surprised me. Not because it was sort of like when they cast Heath Ledger as a Joker, I was like, what are they doing? Like, I can't see that person playing that role. Right. So when they say Gal, I always say her last name wrong. Gal
Gadot.
Yeah, there you go. Gal Gadot.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I was like, it was so much speculation about who was going to play Wonder Woman all these years, and they kept going back. People, I wasn't really sold on her being Wonder Woman. Not because I had anything against her acting or anything like that, but in the Fast and Furious movies that she was in, it was like, okay, like she didn't really blow me away per se. So I just like, okay, that's who they're choosing as Wonder Woman. I don't know. So watching it, she completely exceeded my expectations for that role, by far. And I just like the way they did the storyline. So the character builds, the characters that surrounded her as a main role. I just thought that was done well, and just the way that she portrayed Wonder Woman, like it was just done, in every way, storyline wise, theatrical, holding my attention, had enough action, a little comedy here and there, but mostly, it was just the writing was well. I just thought overall it far exceeded my expectations. So yeah, that's why I have it so high up. And just in general, I like it. Even if it met my expectations, I would have put it that high up. But it definitely kind of boosted it a little bit, that it exceeded what I thought it was going to be.
Okay, got you. So did you like the sequel?
No, not as much. Okay, let me say, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say I completely thank you.
Ooh, quick denial. That was so fast.
I would say, when I say no, I'm not gonna say I completely disliked it, but where I had that of what I thought it was going to be, and what I expected it to be was so ridiculously high. I don't think it was going to meet it, but it went below that in a way that I didn't expect. So I was expecting. So the first one, I gave it an A++. So this one, I was like, all right, yeah, I can't wait for it to come out. I'm looking for it. Obviously, we know why they pushed it back, everything. And then I saw it, I was like, okay, this was good, but this wasn't what I thought it was going to be as a whole. So I shouldn't say it wasn't good, but it was just like it didn't meet the level where I thought it was going to be at.
Yeah,
at that level. So, like I said, I would give it a B, but I was expecting extraordinary quality, as a whole,
a higher level.
Yeah, and it just didn't reach that.
Man. Yeah, I figured a lot of people weren't a big fan of the second one. I thought I thought the Kristen Wiig did a good job as Cheetah. I thought that was probably the standout. I think that was for me personally the standout because Kristen Wiig being cast in that role was always baffling to me. I said, you guys got Kristen Wiig as the villain for a superhero movie. Not, I mean, look, DC has done things before where they cast people in different roles. Heath Ledger's Joker, right? Paul Dano as the Riddler in the new Batman. They're probably polarizing, but they at least did their part. But I think she was probably the best part of Wonder Woman 1980. My whole problem with the Wonder Woman movies is the fact that they're prequel movies technically, because again, both movies kind of start off where it's like, it's Diana Prince in her office talking about the memories. So it's already like for me personally, my problem with those type of movies is there's no stakes because she's going to survive the whole movie because she's president talking about it.
Yeah.
So that dampened Wonder Woman for me. And then of course the villain coming in at the end out of nowhere, which all these superhero movies like to do at the end. I really hate when they do stuff like that when it's like, I was here the whole time. It's just so childish and like it's like TV. I've heard it from TV like superhero shows like from the past, but like nowadays, come on. And then it's like my same thing happened on 84 where it's like another prequel. Can we get a Wonder Woman movie in the 2020s? Like when y'all do Wonder Woman 3, which obviously they're going to have to do because the first two. Well, first one made a lot of money. Second one was obviously COVID and everything, and streaming. But even still, you gotta finish up the trilogy. So hopefully the third one is in present day, please. Good Lord, can we get away from the past? It's really bothers me when I do that a lot because again, what am I watching it for? Like, and no offense to Black Widow from last year. That was a problem for me for Black Widow. She's a dead character in the current. Like, sorry, I know we got the multiverse and everything now, and everything's opening up. But it's a prequel movie set between Civil War and Infinity War. You're going to live because you lived up until Endgame. Like, it's just stupid for me, in my opinion. I don't like prequels like that.
Yeah, I'll say this real quick, because I'm curious your list as well. Or just in general, like you said, what would be your top movies? Prequels don't bother me if you do it right. To me, that's why the first one, and it definitely, like I said, both are definitely prequel. To me, the first Wonder Woman, they did it right, the prequel right. 84, I kind of felt like it was, in a way, sort of all over the place in points, and it wasn't honestly as exciting. Like it was more for a superhero movie. I don't mind story. Could be that if you can do that within a superhero movie, that just adds to it where you can bring out a story within the story. Like that's good. But I'm not gonna lie, the story within the story of 84 was kind of boring. So it's just like it was just they just missed out on something. And I agree with you with the Kristen Wiig. She definitely was, to me, she was the best part of the movie. As far as like her role, how she portrayed the villain, all like her backstory, everything with that. But 84 was just, again, I liked it, but I didn't like it a lot. Whereas Wonder Woman, the first one, was just, it was everything above that I thought it was going to be, even in that prequel, kind of direction.
Yep. And I agree with you where prequel movies can be good because I think of a movie that I really enjoyed for a prequel series, X-Men First Class was fantastic.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I think even still, like, if I think about it, I think that may be my favorite X-Men movie.
Oh, it's mine.
Besides, like Logan, but I mean, I really count that as like a Wolverine kind of thing. But in the franchise from X-Men 1 to Dark Phoenix, well, I only say that because Robin and I saw Dark Phoenix like the weekend it came out.
Yeah,
and there were at 10 o'clock on a Sunday, and there was like 5 people in the theater. I'll never forget that because Dark Phoenix came out a month and some change after Endgame. We saw Endgame the same time, and it was packed. So to go to the same theater the same day, around the same time, it was like COVID times.
Yeah.
Let me put in perspective. We saw New Mutants the first weekend it came out during COVID, and New Mutants had more people in the theater than Dark Phoenix did.
Wow.
And I probably attribute that to COVID. Obviously, people were trying to get out the house and go back to some type of normalcy. But yeah, it was bad. But First Class was fantastic. The
Yes, it was.
perfect prequel movie. I think because again, Xavier's going to get shot, but leading up or getting paralyzed. Excuse me.
Mhm.
It was all leading to that moment and leading to these characters that we've known
Yep.
for the last decade and a half or
Yep.
so. But
Yep.
it's the way they did it was still fantastic. So I guess it can work definitely in a certain space. But X-Men First Class, round of applause. Hands down the best X-Men movie ever.
No, it is. It's definitely it's my, even counting Logan, it's my favorite X-Men movie of all time. And I am one of the few that like Dark Phoenix. I'm not gonna lie, like that. I did like Dark Phoenix a lot. But X-Men First Class is a cut above all of them, no question.
Like another level. Now you went above and beyond. You did top 10 movies. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, I only have 3 that I can really put in my head, but it's only now these movies. I have to say, I want to just first say before I say these movies, that I realize that there are better movies than these out there. I just had to realize that. Same thing with my favorite video games of all time. My favorite video games are games that came out in the 90s. And they have a lot of nostalgia value for me. And they're video games that made me like gaming overall.
Yeah.
It's the same way with movies where I feel like and I can watch these movies. I watch these movies yearly, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're all 90s movies. So I'm gonna go from just give you the top 3.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. So number 3 is a Disney movie.
Okay.
Called Blank Check. You ever seen Blank Check?
Yeah, I know. I knew that one. I knew that one. That is your movie.
Blank Check is fantastic. It's the ultimate kid's dream. Like, could you imagine getting a blank check as a kid in the 90s and be like, you could buy anything you wanted?
Exactly.
Such a great movie. Then there's Tone Loc in the movie. He plays Juice. He's fantastic. He's a hilarious foil. And there's a little bit of sexual assault in the movie now.
We're gonna say we all know yes.
We're gonna talk about it too much, but at the time it was cool to be thinking about a kid getting fine. She was fine.
Yes, she was.
She is fine. I don't think she was actually probably fine. It's been 30 years, but that's like a dream. You got a lot of money. You got the girl. Like Tone Loc was funny. I think it's just a classic movie for me. And again, I know there's other better movies out there, but that movie. Every year, it's on Disney Plus. I pick it up and I watch it. I haven't watched it this year. I think it might be today. Well, get wrong. It might be time to watch some Blank Check today.
There you go. It's still early enough. We're all ain't on yet.
Really good movie. Number 2, it's another Disney movie. First Kid. Yo, Sinbad. Effing 90s king. Like, give my man Sinbad his flowers while he's still around.
Yeah, yes.
And another thing is, it's just another movie with just a crazy premise. Okay, first kid of the United States, the president of the United States, and he is his bodyguard, and the hijinks that ensues, and it's like it shouldn't be a funny movie, but again, it's like with games. People took chances back then because you just kind of threw it at the wall to see what stick.
Yep.
Nowadays, all movies are about like sequels and prequels and remakes and reboots. But First Kid was like an original type of movie of its own class. Like never before seen something like that. Yeah. And even still, I talk about it all the time with Robin. And it's like, yo, y'all can do a sequel to First Kid. Like, just do it now with Sinbad's still around.
I about to say true.
The kid who played the first kid is still around. I feel like I can do a sequel or for Disney Plus because who cares? I mean, if reboots and stuff are in.
That's true. That's true. With the reboots, that is 100% true right there.
Again, disclaimer: I realize there are much better movies than these movies. I'm not saying these are masterpieces at all, but when I watch these movies, they make me feel good.
Yeah.
Actually, rounding up the top 4 and 5 is probably Home Alone 2 and Jingle All the Way, which are 2 of the best Christmas movies ever made. I will not. Home Alone 2 is probably the best Christmas movie ever made, and I will not hear anything against it. I will not hear no slander. I will not hear any back talk.
Yo, that is funny. Home Alone 2 is definitely. I never watched Jingle All the Way, but Home Alone 2 is my favorite. Home Alone 2 is my favorite Christmas movie of all time. Yeah,
amazing. When he throws the bricks down on his head, that's my favorite. I laugh at that scene every time. Doesn't matter how much I've seen it. Hilarious. You're almost committing murder.
Yes, it is assault. It's a legitimate assault.
If I throw a brick from the top of my roof right now, somebody, they're gonna die. They're most likely gonna die having a concussion or brain damage.
Exactly. But yet this dude got up.
He got up like a few times. He got hit like 4 or 5 bricks.
Exactly.
What a movie! Yo, it's fantastic. Favorite movie of all time. It's celebrating its 25th anniversary in July. It is Nothing to Lose, starring Martin Lawrence and Tim Robbins. It's the first adult movie that I think I've ever watched. I want to actually make sure I'm right. I think it's like the first one I ever like really watched. I had memories of.
Okay.
And it's just funny. Like I watched it a few months ago this year, last month. So the internet was out, and nowadays, if your internet's out, that's a wrap. Like you can't do anything. You try to watch streaming, can't do it.
Nothing.
Like even Infinity is connected to the internet nowadays, so it's just like if you have no internet, it's a wrap.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I have the DVD because that's how much I love this movie. I have the DVD of this movie from 2022, which I recently just bought.
Yeah, I did not know.
Crazy, like I put it in the PlayStation, I fired it up and watched it after work one night. It holds up. It's so funny. Like, again, it's another movie where I can watch over and over again.
Yeah.
And I cry laughing at the same parts over and over again. And it's like, who does that? Marcus Stevens does that. But yeah, it's the first adult movie. It's my first real comedy movie that I've seen, like adult comedy, and again, it's just stuck with me my whole life. Since I've seen it in 1997 till now. It's just a really touching, funny movie. Has a lot of good parts in it as well, like the elite society versus like low class society or the middle class, things like that. Yeah. Being Black in America, the little subtle tones before everybody's woke now in 2022. But it's a really funny movie. I think Martin Lawrence and Robbins. I'm also a big fan of interracial pairings in movies where it's like Black or white, Black and Chinese. Like obviously like Rush Hour as well. Is a big one for me. So I'm a huge fan of those kind of pairings. So I again, Nothing to Lose. Nothing has been done with it in 25 years. There's not even like a sequel. Actually, I think there might be a sequel, or I think it's hold on. I think it's a different movie. I don't know if you remember the movie Bulletproof with Damon Wayne.
That was the one.
I think they made a sequel to that. I get them confused because it's Black and white pairing and whatever. Yeah. Bulletproof's really good too. It's not one of my favorites, but it's really good. But yeah, Nothing to Lose is my favorite movie of all time. Again, I probably watched that. I say yearly. I probably watched that like 2 or 3 times a year. Especially I own the DVD. So anytime I'm sitting downstairs and I see it, I'm like, nothing to do. Chuck in the DVD.
I'll pop it in.
So Nothing to Lose, hands down, favorite movie of all time. All right, as far as movies, so 2021 was the kind of the return of theaters or the return of movies after COVID, because a lot of movies got pushed back from 2020 to 2021. Even movies are still getting pushed back. I mean, like earlier this year they pushed back John Wick from, it's supposed to come out in May, they pushed it all the way back to March next year. We just got pushed back. Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because during the episode of the Fatman Ramen podcast a few weeks ago, Aquaman 2 and Avatar 2, I don't know if you knew this, we're supposed to come out on the same day, December. And we literally just said, well, somebody's got to move. And it's not going to be Mickey Mouse and Avatar, because they got December on lock for the next like 5 years, because it's going to be Star Wars next year, and then Avatar 3 the next year, and they're flipping back and forth. And literally the next day before we posted the episode, they said Aquaman got pushed back. Aquaman in the Flash got pushed back. They pushed up Shazam. I think Shazam 2 is now coming out against Avatar 2 this day. Good luck. I'll rest in peace, Shazam. Are you kidding me?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself?
They literally want the movie to fail.
Why would you do that?
But yeah, so 2021 was the first year a lot of these movies that got pushed back were coming out. We got 4 Marvel movies last year. Was the first? 2020 was the first year we didn't have any Marvel movies because obviously COVID destroyed theaters and destroyed life as we know it for a long time, even still destroying it. So, what were some of your favorite movies that came out last year in 2021?
Yeah, and I was writing them down, and at first I just wrote down movies that I saw. So now as I and trust me, even the list I did earlier, I wrote all this stuff down because most of it I remember, but there were some ones I'm like, I gotta write down. So I just wrote down movies that I saw in 2021 and put it in the order that I liked them. Yeah. So the first one was Spider-Man No Way Home. Was the favorite one. And I just realized this real quick because I was just doing movies that actually came out in 2021. Now, granted, obviously during most of COVID when we couldn't do anything, yeah, I saw a bunch of movies, whether they were older movies, or whatever. So I'm not counting just in general, but just literal movies that came out in 2021. So yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home is number one. Bond, No Time to Die is number two. And I'll get back to that, especially what I thought they did right with that in comparison with Spectre. But yeah, Bond, No Time to Die, excuse me. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, excuse me, because it's about time that they had Carnage in a Marvel movie. Took forever, but I'm glad they did it. And plus, I like Venom, with Tim Hardy doing Venom, I should say, with the two ones that he did. Mm-hmm. Now, this one you probably haven't heard of because you're not a big documentary watcher, at least that I can remember. So, so this one is a documentary. It's really good. It's called Choice of Weapons, inspired by Gordon Parks. So it's a famous photographer, black photographer, and the documentary is about like how pictures can really show the heart of what's going on. So like you can take a picture and you can take a certain picture and it can tell you can figure out what's going on without having to be explained, and it can be very powerful, whether bad or good. So it was a really, really good documentary. And just went into his life and photographers of this time, it's just kind of how they're using pictures to really expose a lot of things, and either in a good way or in some cases needed to show the bad to make change. So that was a good one. Zack Snyder's Justice League. I know it was 4 hours, but man, did we need that after that debacle. And now knowing the backstory of Justice League 2017 more of why, it happened the way it happened, I kind of have a little bit more compassion with it. But because of the full story of understanding, but that was so bad. But the recover with the Zack Snyder Justice League definitely was really good. I put Wonder Woman 84 over Black Widow. Partially, I guess it was just like, to me, they kind of were the same. Like they weren't bad, they weren't great. I gave them both basically a B. So those would be the two movies I can kind of finish it out in 2021 that I wrote down in that order. And Bond, like I said, they had to recover from Spectre. I know Spectre technically made a good amount of money when it came out, but Skyfall was so great, and then Spectre comes out, and I'm thinking, okay, they bringing Spectre, this is gonna be dope. I walked out of that movie saying, "What the crap did I just watch?" I remember that when it came out that year, I was like, "What did I just watch?" And I had to go back and watch it to make sure. I was like, did it really look as bad as I thought it was? And it was, to me. Because like again, Skyfall was just that great. But No Time to Die was exactly how you do it. You kill off Daniel Craig, but in a way that, okay, it worked well. He's not coming back. Well, more than likely. I mean, obviously the movie effects, they can, write something to be like, well, he really some way or another got off the island. For those who didn't see it, sorry, spoiler alert.
Yeah, times for 6 months.
Exactly. So, but more than likely, they did it right, and just in general, just the way that it's written, the combination of how they did it, and it was what Spectre should have been if that was going to be Daniel Craig's last movie, and this being supposedly his last Bond movie. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Spectre had the Quantum of Solace effect, right? Because Casino Royale was like really fantastic. I still would say Casino Royale is my favorite Bond movie of all time. Because again, after we watched all the Bonds together, like from Dr. No up to Spectre, and it was easy to be able to like compare and contrast them because we watched them all the time.
Yep.
And because at the time when Casino Royale came out, Bond was really like stagnant, kind of like it was kind of like it was like it had a formula, right?
Yeah.
He had a Bond girl. There was a villain. There was like gadgets and all that. Casino Royale was kind of like a fresh take on the characters, first big outing, and it was good. It was good for it because it was more hand-to-hand combat in the movie. There was less gadgets. The opening parkour scene of him running against the guy and everything it's like top notch. It's probably one of the best like 10 to 15 minutes like start to a movie ever for me.
Yep.
And then Quantum of Solace is just like, oh, it's the shortest Bond movie of all time. It's only like an hour and like 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really just like it's just really just like after I watched it, I was just like, oh, okay. I just felt like I felt empty, I guess.
Yeah.
And I watched all of these movies, and a lot of these movies aren't. Well, I enjoyed most of them. Quantum of Solace is the worst one I've seen in the Bonds.
Wow.
I know, yeah, and it's only because the other ones made me feel like, a lot of people say a lot of things about the Roger Moore movies, and don't get me wrong, a lot of them are very questionable in 2022. But even the worst Roger Moore one was good to me because I thought it was fun. I thought it was something relatable, like having freaking William Dafoe. I'm not William Dafoe. Christopher Walken as the main villain in the Bond movie. I'm not gonna say anything bad about that. And then the Skyfall was so good. And I think because Skyfall was such a pedestal and such like, because again that was the was the song right by Adele was in that movie.
Yeah, Adele.
What's the name of the song? I'm just gonna kill it.
What are you talking about with Spectre?
No, it's with Skyfall. It's just called Sky. It's called Skyfall.
Yes, it's by Adele. Yeah,
okay.
Skyfall. Because
that was such a high level. That's the first Bond movie to make $1 billion. I think again everybody had a high expectation for Spectre, and it just was kind of like mediocre, like lukewarm at best.
Yes.
I had to actually go back to watch No Time to Die because we saw it in theaters, but like I'm spoiled now because Robin has put me on the subtitles during movies.
Oh goodness, no.
Yeah, I know. And because it's British, sometimes I don't understand what they were saying. And it messes me up. So I have to watch it when it comes to streaming eventually. I'm hoping Amazon will pick it up eventually. Because I really enjoyed again the whole Daniel Craig's his 5 movies because it was continuity between the movies.
Yes, it was.
The other Bond movies are kind of really just, even though it's the same actor playing most of the time, how many stint they did, they were all like standalone movies. You can like kind of watch it without having to watch the other ones.
Yes, they didn't connect like that.
That's okay. I understand there's some movies that like, but like a lot of movies nowadays are connecting because you want to make franchise. You want to make these big sprawling universes. Everybody wants to have the MCU kind of thing about it, and it's not a bad thing. But again, when you come from 2020 mindset of that movie and you go back, I kind of appreciate Daniel Craig's ones. They did that. So it's his last Bond. So hopefully they get it to whoever's the next Bond. Robin is under the impersonation of the guy from, I don't know if you ever watched Outlander or
no, I've heard about it, but I've never watched it.
He wants him to be the next Bond. I'm a fan of the guy from Eternals who was who turned on his people. Richard Madden. He looks like James Bond. Like he looks he looks like he could play in a spy movie. So I feel like for me personally, and the way Eternals ended, I don't. He probably won't be coming back anyway because what happened at the end. So I feel like he should be the next Bond for me. Obviously, Idris Elba is I think everybody's choice, but
I was gonna say
we ain't ready for a Bond with melanin in him yet.
Exactly.
They still getting over Meghan Markle and that whole controversy over there. So let's not baby steps. 2021 movies for me. So again, this is the return to theaters. Movies start coming out. And I have a lot of movies that I feel are good, I like, but a lot of people maybe did not technically like Mortal Kombat. Effing love Mortal Kombat. And because for me, Mortal Kombat is not so much about story, because if you know games, fighting games don't really have too much of a story. It was about the gore. And man, was it gory.
Yes, it was.
As a fan, I ever wanted to see on the big screen. Mortal Kombat from 95 is it's a good fighting game movie. This is a visceral fighting game movie in 2021 when it came out. Absolutely love it. All the comedy for fans of the game, like just like some of the little things they did. Like there's a scene when I think Liu Kang is facing Kano and he's training him or whatever. He keeps doing the low crouching like sweep. That's like a cheese move in the game for those who didn't know. So for me as a fan, I kind of chuckled and I said, hey, I'm a gamer, I relate with that. So for me, like that, and then them setting up obviously for the sequels and everything like that. They want somebody big to play Johnny Cage. I know the Miz has said he wanted to play Johnny Cage in a sequel. I don't think he's big enough to push it to the next level. But I'm all for people following their dreams. So if the Miz wants, if they want to cast Miz, please cast Miz as Johnny Cage. He has the douchebag persona.
Yes,
To
he does.
fit that. So if anybody could do it, it would be him.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of horror movies as well. So I didn't personally like Quiet Place Part 2 that came out last year. I'm not a big fan of PG-13 horror movies. It's far and few between of how many PG-13 horror movies are really good. I can only name like a few. Actually, well, really one right now that's coming to my mind. That's Lights Out. That's the only good PG-13 horror movie I can think of right now. So Quiet Place Part 2, I saw it last year, didn't do it for me. Stop making the movies. They're making a spinoff and a sequel to it. So I'm like, people like them. I just it just didn't do it for me. When I watch a horror movie, either it depends. If it's psychological, I want to see some messed up things happen. If it's like I'm sorry. If like it's psychological. I have to see,
like, I know, trust me. I totally understand. As far as when we're talking about psychological horror movies, it just sounded funny when you said it. It's like
I'm just messed up. Sorry. If it's like a slasher, I want to see some kills. Like I want to see people get hurt. Like we'll talk about it with 2022 movies because Texas Chainsaw came out this year. I will talk about that in a minute, but I want to see gore. Like Candyman came out last year as well, right? I never saw Candyman.
Yeah, I did.
I was disappointed in its gore option. Like I think it was a good movie. Like I'm not a lot of people are disappointed by it, but I was disappointed in the gore factors. That I want to see somebody get their head ripped off. Like I feel like Candyman is a slasher more than a psychological villain.
Yes,
for me personally, and they did psychological. It was still a good movie. I just wanted more gore. So they also released the Book of Saw Spiral last year. I'm a huge Saw guy.
Oh, you are. I'm sorry.
Absolutely love porn. It's fantastic.
That's what I can't do. I'm sorry.
I love this movie since 2005 when I first saw Saw, and it scared the hell out of me. And I've been following ever since. And I really like Spiral. I really like Chris Rock's take on it because it had a little like comedy in it because it's Chris Rock, obviously. Samuel Jackson's in it, so of course these two. Just some of their faces and their expressions and how they deliver their lines is funny. But I just thought it was a good standalone Saw movie. Didn't have anything really to do with the other 8 movies before it. It's standalone. It's like I've said it on a podcast before, but it's Black Saw, and I don't mean to say that in like a demeaning way. It's a lesson like anything Black do, but that's what it really was. And I enjoyed it because of that. Let me see. I'm looking up a list right now because I'm forgetting movies that came out last year.
I was gonna say you mentioned a couple that I forgot to mention on my list too.
Let's see. Oh, a really good one on Netflix because I'm a horror guy, and I think my favorite horror movie from last year is the Fear Street series on Netflix.
Yeah, you got me on that. I remember you mentioned that to me, and for the minute I was like, "No, I'm good." And then I ended up watching. I was like, "This show is nice."
All 3 of them because of again they feature all 3 like versions of horror for me. It's like the first one, 1994, is like the 90s comedy, the 90s horror. So like Scream and The Craft and I Know Last Summer, and then 78 is the slasher because 78 has the highest body count. He was murking people in that movie. I don't know if people say murk anymore. He was in this movie. Killed kids. Exactly. I'm not a power person, but killing kids in movies and shows is like top tier. That's why it was so good for me. Because when they showed the first scene in it, when he bites Jordan's arm off, I was like, he's a child.
You just don't expect that stuff. It's like, wait, what?
And then when he bit the girl's face in 2, I was just like, I'm sold. But 78 was inspired by like Friday the 13th. Halloween. So the body count with it was very high. And then the last one, 60, was it 78? Whatever it was. That was more like the witch or like Coven horrors, and they all work perfectly.
They did.
If you have 6 hours, I'm sorry. I always say to watch. I watch it weekly, but it came out back to back in July. But if you have 6 hours to kill it one day, like in between breaks, like I think it's a fantastic horror anthology because you get a mix of every horror trope there is in all these movies. Definitely the best horror movie I've seen last year. Hands down, it's like not even close.
Yeah, I agree with that one. But those were the best. Yeah.
A big disappointment for me last year. I'm sorry, you say something?
No, I was I can't believe I forgot those ones because you mentioned a couple movies. Definitely quite, and I'm a big fan of Quiet Place. Both of them. I do like the first one better. I don't think they need to do a spinoff. I know they're going to do a third one. That makes sense. Like I get that, which I'm looking forward to the third one. Like I like the first two a lot. Like I said, looking for the third one. Mortal Kombat, I forgot about Mortal Kombat. I'm not gonna lie, because I was trying to think of like movies I went straight to either HBO Max or streaming at the same time it came out in theaters. And Mortal Kombat, the way they did it, is exactly what I wanted them to do. Wanted them to do in the '90s. And it's not like they couldn't, because they had plenty of gory movies out in the '90s, so they could have did it that way. And I was like, I like the first Mortal Kombat. I didn't really like the second one in the '90s, Annihilation. But this was like, now this is how you do Mortal Kombat. Like, listen, it's a gory game. It's a violent game. If you're going to put Mortal Kombat out, do it right. So yeah, I forgot about Mortal Kombat. But I just want to say those. And then Fear Street 2, I don't know how I forgot about that one. But that was the best horror movie of last year. No question.
No question. Like it's so good. I recommend anybody watching it. Like, crap. You were talking about darn it, I just lost my train of thought.
No, you said one of the ones that disappointed. You said the one.
Right. So Space Jam.
LeBron, stop acting, please.
Like my man's.
Not as a leading role.
I'm casual. I'm getting more and more to basketball in my 20s and 30s. I watched most of the games yesterday as well.
Good ones.
They were. Especially the Nets and Celtics game. Ooh, boy. I was in my seat. I had no force of grace. I'm only watching because I'm scared the Sixers are going to win. And then it's for Philadelphia. And it's going to mess up our chances to get WrestleMania again. So I'm on Sixers watch and also for work because Eagles Parade in 2018, worst day of my life. Anyway, not important. Space Jam was basically just a Warner Brothers ad. And because it's basically like the ending scene where you have, or the ending basketball game where you have the characters from every Warner Brothers franchise. Why was Pennywise in the crowd?
I saw that.
Why was Pennywise in the crowd?
Exactly. I'm like, wait, this is a kids movie, right? They got it in this movie. Like, what's going on?
Dumbledore was there, or Voldemort? Excuse me, Voldemort was there. Every Warner Brothers franchise, it was basically them saying like, "This is all the things that you like." Here you go. But okay, I can forgive that. But the movie itself was just, I think it was just one of those things where they try to cash in on nostalgia 25 years too late, because it was 25th anniversary last year for Space Jam, the original. It was just too late. And I don't think, again, a lot of people who grew up with Space Jam, like us, are, adults now. Well, obviously we're adults. Future adults. We have like families or something like that now, so a lot of them took their kids to see it, and then I hope maybe this will have the same effect on them as it had on us. But like, don't do no more Space Jams, y'all. The ship has sailed. Like, I'm not against Bugs Bunny and in a live action kind of thing like that, because I really do think the original Space Jam is great and it holds up today. No, if y'all just want to do a Warner Brothers movie like that, just do a movie like that. I'd be okay with y'all want to put all your properties together in one. And the funny thing is, I know I'm right, because they announced a game like late last year called Warner Brothers Universe, where it's like all the characters like they did in the movie are coming together in a fighting game. So I knew I was right. It was basically like a soft test.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Warner Brothers. Like, y'all not slick.
That is ridiculous. And I'll be honest. I know when LeBron was in Trainwreck, as like, as I forget the dude's name in real life, but when he was his friend, and like he played that role as his friend, like that was fine, because like he wasn't, being the leading role, and like he kind of had, like he brought in that kind of that comic relief in those spurts in the movie. Playing a leading role, LeBron ain't there yet.
No, stick to basketball, brother. Like I'm not hating on you. Look, do your thing, brother.
Yeah. No. Listen, try it. I ain't hating against trying it, but it ain't there yet.
maybe you were more of a supporting comedy guy. Like no, like a train wreck. I was just like, oh, LeBron funny. Like I enjoyed him in the train wreck.
Exactly.
But maybe stick to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of those type of movies, but like no, that wasn't it for me, bro. Not it for me. No. Suicide Squad was really good. I really enjoyed it. John Cena's movie for me. Personally, I'm obviously not just because I'm a wrestling fan, but also because I think his character Peacemaker was such a nice foil, such a like a I played by the rules kind of justice, and then Peacemaker show was fantastic. I don't know if you watched the show.
That surprised me. It was really good. I was pleasantly surprised by that. But yeah, that was definitely good.
Yeah, so the movie was good. I think it was good. It's a good like first rated R movie for Harley Quinn as well, because she's been in so many different like movies. But I mean, not Birds of Prey. I've already been on the record that I'm not a big fan of Birds of Prey. So,
I am. Yeah, no.
Okay, thank God. Okay.
Yeah. No.
If you talking to this about Robin will because she calls me sexist. It's not a sexist thing that the movie was just not good. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do because all those women in that movie can act. Like I think they can act. They pick those roles. It had nothing to do with it. It just it didn't grab like that. It really did. Like I was just like I watched it and I was like sort of like we were talking about with Quantum of Solace, how your reaction to Quantum of Solace or my reaction to Spectre. Like,
That's it. That's what it was. It was just mad. I left a theory saying I could have dealt. I could put it okay not seeing the movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. Like I said with Spectre. After walking out and watching it, I would have been okay. Like if I didn't see this, if I would have just saw Skyfall and then saw No Time to Die and Miss Spectre, I've been fine. Like
again, so that's how I want to feel after seeing a movie. That's all.
Exactly. No. Look, if I'm going, I don't care if I'm paying for a movie, watching it on TV, whatever. I don't want to have a feeling of no. I'd rather have a feeling of this movie sucked or it was really good than no reaction. And literally, that's how that was from both of those movies. That's how they were from me. It was like,
That's how it's in wrestling too. You gotta have some type of reaction. You rather be cheer me or boo you. As long as they're reacting, they care. Exactly. But if you walking out and they just be like, if they're on their phones, out there, it's a problem. Same thing with wrestling. Same thing with movies. Like,
yep.
Suicide Squad was fantastic. I loved all the gore. I loved all the comedy of it. James Gunn did a great job, and obviously, I hope that they're doing. I don't know if they're going to do a sequel or, well, obviously, they're doing a season 2 of Peacemaker with James Gunn. He's doing all it. He's writing, and directing all the episodes. So I guess I'll keep taking that, but I would want to see more of like Idris Elba's. Bloodshot. Was it Bloodshot or Deadshot?
I think it's
Bloodshot.
I think it's good. That sounds.
Smith played Deadshot. They recast the role because they wanted basically if they want to have Will Smith be open to coming back, which who knows what that's going to happen now.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if you heard they put like Bad Boys 4 on hold for now because.
Oh, I'm not surprised. we all know.
Like, come on now, because 3 was really good, and I really wanted to see this.
Oh yeah, that was. And that's why I said that was like I said, the Bad Boys series as a whole is one of my favorite franchises. But one will always be my favorite, and part of that's nostalgia, like you with Blank Check, and like that will. Even though I think overall, probably, if I look at the totality, I would say Bad Boys for Life probably was the best out of the 3. But for nostalgia purposes, and it was a good movie, period. But also for nostalgia purposes. Bad Boys is that's always going to be my favorite out of, I don't care how many they do. So, and then Bad Boys 2 was okay. But 3 is like, it got back to what made me like Bad Boys 1 so much. And I was just like, it was, and a lot of it, it's the same plots, but it's all about the characters. Like who are you pairing with Will and Martin? And that to me, the pairing and Bad Boys for Life was better than Bad Boys 2. And that's why, like I said, Bad Boys for Life was that. I just watched that a couple weeks ago. So really
good. Some more superhero movies, Shang-Chi and Venom, Let Them Be Carnage. Shang-Chi I was looking forward to because I like the person who plays Shang-Chi. Oh goodness. Simu Lee, he's from a show called Kim's Convenience on Netflix that I really, really, really liked. So I was happy that he got his break. And this movie was good. This movie, after seeing Black Widow, it gave me. I'm not gonna say I was like less like I had like less hopes for MCU because obviously they were putting out WandaVision and Loki and all
Oh
this.
yeah. Oh yeah.
My build was already there, but in terms of movies, like this return to, and it's also the first Marvel movie I saw in theater since Spider-Man Far From Home, because it was like a 2-year gap, right?
Yep. 29. And yeah.
So this was a return to form. Like, it was funny, it was action packed, it was a great origin story for his character as well. Because I don't know too much. We're getting to the point of Marvel stuff of characters I don't know too much about besides like,
yep.
Like I'm watching Moon Knight right now. Know nothing about Moon Knight.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the bride.
Yeah.
Same thing with Shang-Chi. I think it was a great depiction of for Asian all Asian people in the world who for finally having a superhero, a positive superhero, not no stereotypes or anything like that.
Yep.
And it was just a fantastic movie. I really liked Shang-Chi. Venom: Let There Be Carnage was good. I think Venom. I think my biggest problem was it wasn't rated R.
Yes.
Two, it's super. This movie's super short, by the way, as well. It's like which is very strange for a superhero movie. I can't think of a lot of superhero movies under 90 minutes, but this is like right at the 90-minute mark. And I liked it, but I wanted more. I feel like if it was rated R, give it a half hour more and not kill Carnage right away.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan when they add a villain just for for one movie and then it's over just like that. Yeah. But I really liked it. I really like Tom Hardy as, like I said, as Venom. I think he's single-handedly carrying Sony right now, besides obviously Spider-Man. But he's doing this. He did such a great job with Venom that they want to do Morbius. I'm still indifferent on seeing that in theaters. And doing Kraven the Hunter next year. So obviously there's doing more villain roles because Venom was so successful. So I won't hold it against them. But we'll talk about 2022 movies in a minute as well. But Morbius is one of those movies like I wanted to see. Robin was like, "Hey, you want to see Morbius next weekend?" I'm like, Do I want to see Morbius? It's a question. It's like I don't. I hear so many bad things, and I've heard like we'll get to the second.
I would say real quick about Venom. Let There Be Carnage, because obviously at the end of the first Venom, we got the tease that obviously Carnage was going to be in this one. And I remember, super hyped for it. And it met all my expectations. But I will say this, when my brother initially told me, he was like, yeah, it's only gonna be like an hour and a half. I almost didn't go to see it because I was so I was like, what? This should be 2 hours, if not barely under 2 hours. And when he said that, I was like, oh, come on. I was like, well, I'll just wait and wait for seeing on screaming or something like that. But then also when it went from rated R to PG-13, those two things, it kind of make me pause for a second. And at a moment kind of sort of made me lose some of my enthusiasm for it. But then I quickly got over it and said, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and see this, and I'm glad I did. So I ended up seeing it twice. One at a movie theater and then one at a drive-in movie theater. So, which is the first time I've ever been to a drive-in movie theater. Which that was fun. But yeah, so that was the only thing initially. I was like, oh man, really? And then I was like, yeah, it lived up to what I expected. Even though I wanted it to be longer, no question. But yeah. But I come to you real quick. I'll say that too. I don't know how I forgot about that too, because the biggest thing I liked about that is we finally got to see the true Mandarins. That was the biggest thing. I was like, yes. After that monstrosity at the end of Iron Man 3, when I was like, because the first part of Iron Man 3 I liked a lot, and then when they revealed who the villain was, I said, "Are you what are we doing?"
He got redemption in this movie too, as well, right? Because he can't.
He did, yeah. So I was like, yeah, and just in general, Shang-Chi was just action, comedy, again, character, introducing new characters, and again, truly bringing out the Mandarin was like, that's what I'm talking about. I actually just saw it over this weekend again, so
it's really good. I had to watch it. It's been a while since I've seen it since theaters. All right, what else we got? 2021 Halloween Kills. I'm a huge Halloween guy. I think Halloween 2018 is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Halloween Kills was more the same. I know a lot of people were. I read a lot of reviews. People didn't like it as much as the first one, which I get because it's so obvious an in between movie where making a sequel. Like I get it, but the kills he was killing people.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
That's all I care. That's all I care about for a slasher movie. Give me the vicious kills. And Michael Myers was not playing. He shoved the in his neck.
Yeah,
All slow and methodical. He's just like,
yep.
I was like, Jesus, Michael, chill, bro.
just the one kill scene when he killed the one kid, the one teenager on the staircase, and that was just crazy. And I actually like it better than a 2018 one, just simply for that reason. Like the kill scenes are just crazy. So yeah,
I can't wait for Halloween ends. Like I'm I can't wait to see how it's all gonna wrap together. Let's see. The Harder They Fall on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it.
Did I forget that was my favorite movie of outside of Spider-Man. That was my favorite movie of 2021. Like that, I don't know. See, I was trying to think of because there were so many that came on streaming stations, so I kind of got some of them that did. And yeah, there's no question. Yeah, they would. Yeah, that Harder They Fall was one of the best movies. Yeah, period.
It was so good. Also, just an amazing cast of just like actor Jonathan Majors, who was playing Kang and Conqueror, coming up in MCU. But I saw him in what's the show called? Oh, it was an HBO show, got canceled last 2 years ago. I forget what's Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lovecraft Country. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that was my brain was just like. Yeah, we have them.
Regina Hall. No,
Regina Hall. I have the people casting up right here. Yeah. Idris Elba, Zaza Beats, RJ Cyler. It was just an amazing cast of just actors, and the movie was really good. I'm not a big fan of westerns. I think obviously that stems from I saw a western in high school called Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah,
it's like one of the best of all movies, like best westerns of all time, and I hated it. We had to write a paper on it, and I got like 103 on it because I was like so honest in my review of it. Yeah. But so ever since then, westerns and me aren't like friends.
They don't like that.
But this one was a great western. Django Unchained was a great western. It's really a western as well. I don't know if it has to deal because they're black characters as well. I mean, I'm not racist. I don't like to think I am. They're both great movies. Hardy Fall was just a really good movie. I saw it on Christmas Day because I was off, and I just was like, wow, I need to see more of this. Like I'm all for that.
That was listen. I'll say this. I will say it loudly and proudly. Anytime we get representation and we get good representation, I'm proud of that as a black. So to see because Regina King is one of the best actors. Period. Actresses. Period. So like she did her thing, which I wasn't surprised by that. But to have a pretty much all black cast in Harder They Fall, I think it was all black cast or darn near.
Yeah, but the main cast was black.
Yeah, all the main cast was black. So to have that representation on both sides, you had the bad guy and you had the good, the bad guys, the good guys, and to just portray that so well, on both ends, I'm like, that was my movie last year, no question.
It was fantastic. Like there's nothing bad to say about that movie. Let me see what else because we gotta get. All right, so I know you probably don't watch them, but Paranormal Activity had another movie came out last year. On Paramount Plus, which is the way to go nowadays because I wasn't paying money to see it. If you've seen Paranormal Activity 1, you kind of see them all, honestly, and it's more of the same, just jump scares and but I'm a huge fan of like found footage movies like that. So anytime they come out, I gotta support. It was okay.
Yeah.
Eternals came out. Eternals was a little bit. Well, it was a little long. A little long. I enjoyed the movie. I've only watched it the one time in the theaters, though. I understand people's frustration with it. And I really felt like that should have been a Disney Plus movie. By my opinion, no offense to the Eternals. No offense. Should have been a Disney Plus movie.
Because I gotta say,
I have nothing else to say about it. I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna say Eternals. It was disappointing and you sucked. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had this conversation with somebody the other day. I was like, because I was tempted to see it in theaters, and I was like, "No, I'm good." And I was so glad I didn't. I watched that movie, and it's not because of length. Like, you know me, if it's a good movie, I like long movies if they're good and they can hold my attention. But I don't know. It's just, it wasn't even It was just like, what did I just do for the last 2 hours and whatever it was? Like, this is what the. So it was, yeah. So Eternals, a Marvel, you missed on that one, in my opinion.
Y'all missed. He said y'all missed. Straight up missed.
Exactly.
All right. And let me see. Matrix 4 came out last year as well. Which I completely forgot about, so I just read it. Because the movie was so forgettable, I'm assuming. I don't remember it, honestly. I can't tell you a lot of that movie.
It was. I did watch it. It was so...
at all. And then of course, Spider-Man No Way Home kind of saved movie theaters all around the world with $1 billion gross.
Yep.
Sixth highest grossing movie of all time.
So it did beat it. Well, hold on. Did it legitimately beat Avatar?
No. Like it's six of all time. So it's still Avatar's still number one, but like in worldwide gross, it's six. It's
okay.
Underneath Avatar, Endgame, Titanic, Star Wars 7, and Infinity War. I think those are the five on top of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I have useless knowledge like that in my brain just in case I ever go on Jeopardy and they ask what's the top?
Exactly. Listen, you know, have it in your back pocket just in case.
Spider-Man No Way Home is a movie. Obviously, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. Like that stems from my childhood from TV shows and the games and everything. And then seeing Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 20 years ago, next month. Jesus Christ. Seeing that in theaters and things like that. So to see an assembly of all the movies together in one, and he did it so well that
it did.
Overblown it. I felt like everybody got a chance to shine.
Yep.
It was emotional. Like I almost cried like twice in that movie. Like, and it was just an amazing. I can't say too much about it, but I bought the digital. I watched it at work a few weeks ago, and I got all the same feelings again, and they did a perfect reboot of Spider-Man, because that's I think what they're going to probably focus on next is Spider-Man kind of going on the streets, kind of just because always in every Spider-Man movie he's had a mentor. He had Tony Stark, he had Mysterio, he had Doctor Strange, and each one of the movies, and now he's by himself because nobody knows who he is. So it's kind of like a soft reboot for him. You have an established Spider-Man character, but nobody knows who he is. So, 10 out of 10 movie. It's my favorite 2021 movie. It might be one of my favorite movies of all time in terms of just like emotional impact and culmination of everything in one long 2.5 hour movie. Like I left the theater just like, man, I wish I could see that. I wish I could forget my memory of the movie and watch it again. And that's even with I was spoiled by the movie, a lot of it, but because I'm on the internet all the time. And, like, I knew all the plot details. I knew Matt Murdock was showing up. I knew Aunt May was going to die. I mean, I knew all the Spider-Man were coming up. I knew all the villains. I knew all the scenes. I knew how the ending was. But even still, watching it all in progress, it hit for me regardless. And that is the Marvel movie to beat for me now. I'm always a big fan of Endgame. Big fan of Black Panther, but No Way Home for me, because I'm biased as a Spider-Man fan, hits on a different level, and like just get emotional about it now. I love that movie so much; it's amazing.
I will say this part. I know we gotta go to 2022 to this point. The only beef, they always say beef. The only thing that I would have said Spider-Man No Way Home, I wish would have did different. Everything that you talked about. No, I did know about obviously all Spider-Man's coming in. I knew about Matt Murdock as well. I knew since they didn't technically have Uncle Ben in any of these movies, I'm not shocked that they killed off Aunt May, because one of them, and all of them, was somebody, so it wasn't like super shocking. but it still was sort of surprising in a sense. So it hit everything for me as well. Even though I was never a big fan of the I always say his name wrong. The Amazing Spider-Man guy. Yeah, I was never a fan of those. But just the idea of you having all three, that was cool. And everything else did well. But the only thing I said after watching, I was like, the only villain I thought they should have replaced was the lizard, or Dr. Connors. Only because I'm like, he really, like, to me, through most of that movie, he was replaceable. Because he wasn't really involved like that until the very end. So I'm like, they could have put in any other, either introduced, well, no, if they're connected to the other movies, I guess, yeah, you had to put them in. But I don't know. I just was like, yeah, I don't know.
I agree.
But it did it.
I know exactly what you're trying to say, and I 100%.
Like, it's like, don't have them in it. But I guess if you want to even it out, I guess it makes sense. But it's just like, I don't know. I felt like he was the only part of the movie you didn't really need, because he wasn't really, he wasn't really in it like that until the end. So other than that, they hit everything else in the movie. But yeah, that was it.
Yeah, he basically he was here to check off the check mark, because they had the main villain from each of the Spider-Man movies beforehand, except for like Vulture and because obvious reasons.
Yeah,
but yeah, they had to check off all the marks. And they could have replaced him with like he didn't get any characterization in the movie, but Rhino from Main Spider-Man.
Yeah. And I thought about that, and then I was like, I don't know, like, could they have worked that? But yeah, that would have been the one, if they were to replace them to stay connected with those three movies, those three Spider-Mans.
Yeah, but man, this is a great movie. I'm gonna watch. I'll probably watch it again sometime this year. I own a digital. I'm gonna buy the DVD or the box set as well, because I want the 100 minutes of extra content they have, all the bloopers and stuff like that. But man, that was the first movie in 2.5 years where we had an experience in the theater. Everybody watching it for the first time. We saw it the Thursday it came out, at like 7 p.m. So nobody in the theater had saw the movie, I don't think, just yet. So everybody's reacting in like the same time. You see like Matt Murdock and things like that. And when Andrew Garfield comes out, and the pop he got was like,
yeah. Like, I went to see that next weekend. I don't think it was the same weekend that it came out. I think I saw it I know it was on a Saturday when I saw it. And I went with my dad and my niece and nephew, and it was the same thing. Like, Toby got a nice reaction, but definitely Andrew got like it's just nice pop. It was like
it was like I was at a wrestling match. It was like somebody came out. Like, I was there. I was at the moment when Ronda Rousey debuted in WWE, and that was a big pop. I was there when Nakamura won, and I popped this out. I was probably the last pop in the whole damn building. But like that was next level, seeing them all pop up again. So fantastic, and I hope we get more movie experiences like that. Multiverse of Madness is coming out.
I can't wait for that.
2-3 weeks away, dude. It's really soon.
Oh man, I can't wait for that.
I think it's like 2 years. It's actually like about 20.
May 6th. Huh? Yep. It's the week of. It's either May 4th or May 6th it comes out.
Oh yeah, it's Mother's Day weekend. Yeah.
Yep.
I can't wait. They just dropped the trailer today for Thor: Love and Thunder.
I didn't see that one yet. Okay.
The trailer, that looks really good. So it's like, Marvel, y'all making moves. So, that's 2022 movies now coming up. So we're already in the 4th month of the year. I haven't seen too many movies, 2022 movies this year. I'm looking right now. I've only seen like Scream. Also, I'm doing a list as well this year. I'm making a list of all movies, TV shows, and video games I consume this year, because I try to get to the end of the year, and then I do like a podcast or I do something, and I'm just like, what did I even do this year? And I always forget.
Yeah.
So I'm making a whole list this year of movies and stuff I've seen, but I've seen Scream in theaters, and we saw the Batman in theaters. Obviously Scream we saw because Robin is a big fan of Scream, but I'm also a big fan of like slashers and things like that. Scream is really good. It's probably the best sequel Scream movie ever for me. It was fantastic. It was well done. It had just enough gore, great comedy, and it was nostalgia as well. And a lot of people responded very well to it. I didn't see Uncharted, even though I'm a big video game fan. I just missed it. But it'll be on streaming in like 2 days or something like that. That's the thing. I don't know if you know, but today, I think it's today. Today's the first day that Batman is on HBO Max, which is mind baffling because it just came out. It just came out on the 4th of March, but now that's the thing nowadays where movies are, or except for Marvel movies, they're not becoming like appointment viewing anymore because I can just wait 45 days. Like Scream is on Paramount Plus already. Jackass Forever is on Paramount Plus. They just came out in January and February. It's like when the chart came out February 18th, so it's the 18th today. So it has to be on streaming. It's been 60 days. I could probably find it somewhere and watch it right now. Like
definitely the date. That's why Spider-Man was such an anomaly of this era, that it was in theaters for so long. You just don't see that nowadays. I'm gonna call it COVID era. You just don't see that during the COVID. Even the ones that have been in theaters, even ones that have done well in theaters, they don't stay in as long. It's like they make their money, they make it quick, and then they're But when you have all these streaming stations, it makes it easy to be like, listen, we still gonna get, obviously, you're not gonna get movie theater money, but you're still getting that recognition regardless. So yeah.
45 days is crazy, but yeah, I think that's the agreement most of these studios have nowadays is we get 45, at least for all Paramount movies for the next 2 or 3 years. So any Paramount movie that comes out, they have 45 days from that day that has to be on Paramount Plus. It's just in the contract. So that's pretty good for people who don't. I mean, for like movies I don't really care about seeing, like Jackass Forever, I wanted to see, but I never found a good time to see it because I was always busy. So now I can just watch it at my convenience. But Batman, we saw Batman this year as well. I enjoyed the Batman. I feel like it's gonna be one of those divisive movies, where either you really love it or you really hate it. And like I saw reviews that said it was the best Batman ever, and then I saw reviews saying it was a slog. And I agree with the slog because I'm not gonna lie, it took about 45 to 50 minutes for it to actually start hit.
Yeah.
And then it felt like it was going too long. Like I felt like when the movie could have ended, it didn't.
Yeah.
Extra like 25 minutes of movie.
Yeah.
I don't know how you felt about it though.
No, it was one of those things, and I was making sure before I said it. That last scene where they, the again spoilers if you didn't see it. At the very end, whenever like he was like, it was after the flood and everything. And I will say this, for the first time in a Batman movie where they try to flood Gotham, it finally happened. It took forever. That's just kind of like a funny side note. I was like, oh, they finally actually blew up the dams. It took forever to happen in a Batman movie or cartoon, whatever. Now, granted, I haven't seen it on a cartoon, so I don't know if it happened in the cartoon. But anyway, that last maybe 5-10 minutes of he was on top of the stadium or wherever they were, and they were kind of having that conversation. I'm like, that wasn't necessary. You could have just ended it with him, him and Catwoman just having their final, saving who was left in the arena, and then ended there. So I agree that the extra whatever minute wasn't necessary. Overall, it was a slow start. It definitely was a slow start. I thought it was good. And by the way, I like how they portrayed the Riddler. It's about time we saw the dude was a psychopath. That's like
it definitely did more Zodiac Killer.
Yes, that's exactly like that was that type of vibe, and but for a movie like it finally, because you always saw the Riddler as that kind of goofy, he was definitely crazy but goofy kind of villain. And this one you saw him like he was just, and granted that's another movie I'm like, why did y'all take it from rated R to PG-13? But that's another story right another. And that was part of my slight against it too as well. Why I was like, it didn't fully and it fully entertained me in a way that I wanted it to, because I'm like, you took it from rated R to PG-13 for whatever reason. Like, oh yeah, it wasn't like we haven't seen other rated R superhero movies do well in theaters. Deadpool, both, whatever one you like more. Logan did well. I mean, like, so what is the point of taking it off of rated R to PG-13? But again,
Joker made $1 billion, by the way.
Exactly.
The first rated R movie to make $1 billion ever in history. So
exactly. So it's like, y'all can't use that as an excuse. Like, we're not going to reach up at you, please.
Yeah,
That had now in the past, yes, maybe in the 90s, you might have been taking a chance for a superhero movie to be rated R, like mainstream. But recently we've seen that does not count anymore. Like people still gonna go out and see them. So I liked it, but it was kind of dragging at points. And I don't typically mind, again, long movies, to hold my attention enough for that. And it didn't. Like it was good, but it wasn't good enough to be as long as it was. And then, like I said, the best thing to me was Riddler. Like that the way they portrayed that Riddler character, and I don't know who the actor name is off the top of my head. The way he did that, like that was like, okay, we finally saw Riddler in that light, and that was good. To see that be him to portray that role that well, and do it differently than what we normally see the Riddler character been in the past. But yeah, it was too long. It was a good movie, but for that length, it didn't need to be that long. I mean, for that length, it didn't hold my attention for that long of a movie. It was almost 3 hours, and I'm like, it was like 2 hours. I'm like, it was good, but for 2 hours and 50 whatever minutes, yeah, y'all didn't hold my attention that long to be that long. Like y'all, I would think if it was like 2 hours and 10 minutes, and because that would have been enough for that movie, and I would have been fine with it because it wasn't on a level it needed to be that long of a movie. I just say that. Like Dark Knight, I would be happy if it was longer. Like that's how good that was. But yeah.
Just I agree with you. If it's gonna be long, but don't make me feel the length of it. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
Zack Snyder Justice League was 4 hours, but I never felt at all.
Exactly. Yep.
Ever. I never looked at my watch. I was like, oh, this movie about to end. Like for Batman, I think it's the first time ever in theaters. I pulled my phone out. I was like, yo, what time is it? Like, did they add an extra 40 minutes to this movie? Like, I really felt it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was because I worked overnight the night before, I was tired or whatever, but it was like I felt the slog until the guy got blown up in the wherever they were in the theater, whatever they were at.
Yeah.
That was when I was like, all right, here we go. I was like I was kind of doing like the whole like this kind of the nod out. But once that happened, I feel like the movie picked up from there, and then obviously like I said, Paul Dano as Riddler was fantastic. I know a lot of people complain that he was, like I said, more Zodiac killer than actual like source material Riddler, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the costume. He looked weird.
Yes.
He looked unsettling. And I think that's what you will want from a character like that.
Yep.
And then of course, meeting up with the Joker and at the end. The rumors are, or not rumors, that they're trying to do an Arkham Asylum series for HBO Max to tie into all this whole universe, which I am all for, because that way you can get other villains that are not quote unquote movie ready, like movie villains, like Calendar Man or like Zaza or Victor Zaz, whatever his name is. You get some of those people who you can feature on a show, but not featuring on a big movie, because the big movies are going to be reserved for
the big villains,
Scarecrow, Clayface, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, Joker, Roger Two-Face. The rumors are they want to do the Court of Owls, which is a newer Batman storyline. They're actually doing the Court of Owls for a video game called Gotham Knights coming out at the end of this year. So if the reception is good in the game, I'm sure you'll see it on the big screen pretty soon. But yeah, Batman, I enjoyed it for what it was. Again, I will watch it on HBO Max very soon. With subtitles, because again, I was not know the first 45 minutes as well. So it's got to get redeemed.
It is. I say this about Batman. I would I would give it a B rating. Again, good, but not completely what I was looking for. But it was entertaining enough where I walked out like I still had a reaction.
Exactly.
And I still but was it at the full level I was expecting? No. Because like I said, what we just talked about.
So anything else in 2022 you've seen so far that you liked?
The funny thing is I haven't seen that many movies in 2022. Like it's funny, like and I know we said we'll talk about Morbius real quick, but before I say anything about Morbius, I am obviously looking for Doctor Strange. I don't know if I'm going to see it the first weekend it comes out, but it's either going to be the first weekend one of those days or the second weekend. But I'm seeing it relatively soon. I was never a big Avatar fan, so I'm not gonna look for that. I actually did want to see Aquaman because the first one I didn't expect much out of it, but I ended up liking it. So I wanted to see Aquaman too, but obviously that's not coming out 2022 anymore. So I'm kind of waiting and seeing. And I'm even though I like Thor Ragnarok a lot, the first two Thors I didn't necessarily like that much. So this one I'm going to kind of wait and see if I'm going to see it in theaters or not. But if it's anything like Thor Ragnarok, it's going to be great. The Thor Ragnarok that was a dope movie.
I will say that the trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder gives a lot of vibes of Ragnarok as well. So
okay.
I think.
Okay. So yeah, definitely might get that a look see. But like I said, I definitely want to look into that more, see what's that about. I did see like as far as like a Disney or kids movie, what we consider kids or tween, Turning Red.
Yeah.
I did. It was actually a entertaining movie. I was not surprised, but I still, you never know. But I liked it. I was pleasantly surprised by that as well. But yeah, I haven't seen like as far as like movies that have come out in 2022. Yeah. I haven't seen that many. I've seen more TV shows.
Same here. Like I said, my list right now is obviously video games is the longest. Like that goes without saying. 7 games came out in the last 2 months, so of course my game list is gonna be longest. My movie list is like 5 movies long. My TV shows is like I'm like 10 deep on TV shows so far. And I just started another one last night, so it's like, and there's like 2 more I want to watch as well. Like TV shows of anything is killing it the most.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I missed Uncharted already. I missed Jackass Forever. I missed there was a Sandra Bullock movie that came out with Channing Tatum that I wanted to see. Lost City, thank you. I want to see that, but I think that's going to Paramount in like 45 days. I can wait.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm waiting on that.
Morbius has been out since WrestleMania weekend. I didn't see it for the first weekend, obviously, because it's WrestleMania. But then the reviews for it was just like lukewarm, not even lukewarm, but they were like kind of like cold a little bit. And that kind of pushed me off. And I talked to people who were seeing it, and they were just like, it was okay. No, if you're just saying it's just okay, I can wait. Like, it's not a big deal. What else is coming out in April? I think that was it. But as far as movies I want to see, obviously Doctor Strange is like right there. Because and so far I have not been spoiled on anything just yet. Like obviously I know like the plot and everything, but there are like deep spoilers out there that you can find out of who's cameoing and like what's going on. I have a slight idea of some of the cameos that we might see, but like I'm not confirmed. Like I for 100% sure knew about all the Spider-Man No Way Home before I saw it, like the whole thing. I know nothing about this movie, so I'm gonna try to stay off of Reddit and off of all the websites and all that. But
2 weeks.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna stay to my games.
There you go. See?
I want to see that. I haven't seen the trailer for Thor. I'm really pumped for it now because I don't know. It just looks like it's going to be a fun movie. It's like a good melting pot of Thor Ragnarok and the Guardian series into one movie. Black Panther comes out in November. That probably has the hardest job of any Marvel movie because Black Panther 1 is like upper echelon of movies.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So and now you're without your lead role. It's going to be super hard to like convince people to come to see it in theater. So I need to see trailers. I need to start hearing stuff about it because November is like a few months away.
Oh, it's right around the corner.
So we probably won't see a trailer until the summer, but still like that's a really hard job to follow. As far as other movies, Jordan Peele's Nope comes out July 22nd.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. He's already covered psychological thrillers. He's covered like a slasher film, and now it's gonna be like an alien invasion type of movie. That's what it seems like from the trailers. The trailer. He's 2 out of 2 right now. Obviously, Get Out for me is I think it's better than Us. It's like a 10 out of 10 movie for Get Out for me personally, and then like Us is like a 9 or 8.59. So I have to see this movie because this is his 3rd theatrical release. Like I have to see this movie.
I'm going to see it. Like as far as Nope is concerned, like I'm going to see it. Now I'm not going to see it in theaters, because like I admit when Get Out first came out, I kind of felt the same way because I didn't know much about it. Then my brother actually sent me this interview that Jordan Peele did about Get Out and what it was, and that got me into it. I was like, all right, now I'm gonna go see this, and I'm glad I did. So I saw that in theaters. I saw Us in theaters. And I'm going to see Nope, but I'm gonna wait on that. I'm gonna wait till it comes on the streaming station or something like that. But yeah, I'll see it then. But yeah, Get Out's 10 out of 10. For me, Us was a 7 out of 10. Only because it was a lot of ways that I'm like, where is he trying to go with this for sure? So that kind of notched it down for me a little bit, but was it entertaining? Yes, no question. And yeah, so I am looking forward to Nope, but I'm gonna just wait for screaming on that. So that'd be the first one I didn't see in theaters of his. And then Morbius is the same thing. I went back and forth with that. Like there was times like I definitely want to see this. Because I like Morbius in a cartoon. Like I was a big, 1995 to I think it went to like 1998 or something like that. Spider-Man cartoon series. So I was happy he was getting a movie. And then I was like, I'm not sure. Then I was like, yeah. Then I was like, I'm not sure. So at this point, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till it drops. I'm just wait till it drops on streaming stations. I'm not gonna see it in theaters. So yeah.
Gotcha. There's another cool movie coming out. It's by a director who did Deadpool 2 and Atomic Blonde and another action movie. It's called Bullet Train, starring Brad Pitt and a few other stars. When you get a chance to look at the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a bonkers, just like ball to the wall action movie in place of things like John Wick that we lost this year, and things like that. It looks really it's just going to be a good time, a good popcorn movie where it's like you need that for the theaters because it comes out July 29th. It's a week after Nope, but it looks really good. The trailer looks packed, so I'm looking forward to that. We're getting Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse again this year.
Wait, I want to see that too.
Spider-Verse, the first movie was really, really good. I remember when it first came out and I didn't see it, and I had a Spider-Man pin at work. Anytime somebody came up to me, it was like, "Did you see Spider-Verse yet? Did you see this?" And I was like, "Not yet." And they were like, "Yeah, it's the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen." And then I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, I see why." That it was really well done. And I'm looking forward to the next one. We got Halloween Ends comes out. Actually, it's like October's lit because October 7th is the Spider-Man movie. September 14th is Halloween Ends, and then October 21st is Black Adam. Like that's a hell of a trio. That's movie theaters are back. Good lord.
That is
Back to back combination. Black Adam has been in the work. Well, John Cena. The Rock as Black Adam has been in the work since like 2005, 6, 7, around then. It's been a long time in the making. Yeah.
Because I thought it was. I know it was talks over the last X amount of years, but I didn't know it went back that far with him with Black Adam.
Because they originally wanted him to play Captain Marvel or Shazam because it was the same thing. Originally when he first became an actor, but then like he was like, oh no, I want to do Black Adam. And then like ever since 2006, it's been just like, all right, when it's coming out? And it's been on and on. So he finally gets his moment to shine as a super villain, anti-hero coming up pretty soon. I'm very excited for him to be to portray that role.
Yeah.
And then we are talking about Avatar 2 and Shazam, the biggest movie release date of the year, December 16th. Mark your calendars. It's a dead. I feel really bad for Shazam. I think Aquaman 2 had a better shot because it is the only DCEU movie that's $1 billion, like close to $1 billion. So I felt like Jason Momoa's sexiness could have battled against Avatar's 12-year build. But Shazam 2 has no chance. It's going to get a box office. I'm sorry. I want to see Shazam 2 when we go to theaters. I'm going to see Shazam 2 over Avatar, but like
it's going to get destroyed.
You're going to get destroyed. There's still time, DC. You can just push it up a week, or you push it back a week.
I was like, just don't come out on the same day. It's Avatar. That's all. I mean,
death sentence. Actually, come out a week before because the week after is the Mario movie, and that's going to be good for the kids. So just go to the first week of December. Or push it back to January because it's a death sentence against Avatar and Mario.
Yes. I mean, I would say, I will say this though, they would have a better chance against Mario. I mean, I know the kids obviously have no recollection, or I don't even know if their parents or guardians even ever mentioned if they saw that monstrosity they called Mario in 90, whatever it was.
We gotta talk about it.
I don't know if they ever mentioned it to us. So I know these kids have no recollection of that one. They've been spared that. So I think even with that, I still think they would have a slight chance. I'm not saying they would beat Mario, but I think they would have a slight chance of either beating it or at least doing well. they have no shot if they go the same day as Avatar. It is going to look, oh man.
Washed. It's gonna be Brock Lesnar, John Cena. Like
exactly.
Like, are you kidding me? That's a ballsy move. Yeah. Aquaman 2 was a tough sell against Avatar 2. Yeah. Shazam 2, a more even niche movie. Are you kidding me? It's gonna get killed.
Yes.
Put it out to the pasture now. Just get Lassie, the big shotgun right to the face, because like you're killing the movie. You're killing it. You're killing it.
Yeah.
Please, DC, please fix it.
I don't know the logic behind that. That's
back or push it forward. Come out in November. Creed 3 comes out freaking Thanksgiving weekend. Put it against Creed 3. Got a better chance. I mean, good Lord. I mean, the black people are gonna come out from Michael B. Jordan regardless.
Yeah. But you have a shot. Whether it's Mario or Creed, you at least have a shot to look, which is specific to Shazam. You at least have a shot to potentially look okay. And that's not saying that Avatar is so much better than Creed or I don't know what this Mario movie is going to look like. That has nothing to do with it. But just the sheer machine that Avatar is in comparison to those two movies, your best bet, if you're going to go up against one of those three choices, would be the other two than going against Avatar. It's just
13 years. People have been waiting for this damn movie to come out. Yeah. 13 years. And now you have Disney behind it. Fix your ways, DC. Like the mouse is not playing. He's not gonna move.
No.
Unless COVID 25 comes out or something back comes out, he's not gonna move from the date.
Exactly. No, that ain't happening.
That's the last thing I want to say. It's just change your ways, DC. Please say Shazam. I like Shazam a lot. It's probably my favorite DC movie of the DCEU.
Okay.
Besides Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
it's my favorite because I just like Zachary Levi and I like the lightheartedness of it. Don't kill it, please. Lord, don't do it. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, Marcus. I'm sorry, bro. If they do it, I'll put it like this. It's to me, that's their signal of killing it if they leave it on the same. I really think that's their way of saying we don't got no more faith in this movie. So let's go ahead and just have it be annihilated by putting it out on the same day. If they keep it on that date, if they keep it on the same day as Avatar, I'm saying it now. That is their way of saying we don't trust this to be anymore, and we're just gonna kill it right here.
At the altar of the feet of Mickey Mouse and offer Shazam 2. You're so sorry.
Exactly.
All right, that's enough. Well, we're talking about an hour and a half so far. No, that's fine. I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
All about movies and stuff like that. So I thank Mark for joining me. So where can they find you on the socials?
Yeah, so definitely check out my YouTube channel, True Greatness, and then I forgot to mention this last time, my Twitter, so it's at True Greatness 1. So yeah, do that, and then check my Instagram. It's Mark Kendrick, 71. So.
Awesome, thank you. We're on all the podcasts. Where you can find your podcast: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Deezer, Overcast. Anywhere you get your podcast. Also on YouTube, too. Type in the FatmanStephens, all one word. Then podcasts is where we are at. Follow me on the Twitter. We're on Fatman Podcast. Is it Fatman Podcast 90? Hold on 1 second. I've been talking about this for so long. I want to confirm or correct.
Yeah, no, understand.
It's Fatman Podcast 90 because 1990 is the year I was born.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus, help us all. But thank you so much, Mark, for walking down memory lane for favorite movies, and then just talking about Shazam being about to be killed. I'm just very. Why do it, DC?
Totally slaughtered. I'm sorry.
Until next time, this has been another episode of FatmanStephens podcast. We'll see you again next week. Peace.